You don't need it, but I praise you in advance. Praise you in advance. Lord. I suppose they wonder why when the answer is I praise you in advance. Praise you in advance. I never see you over, you don't be mad, I know why you're best. Hello, everyone. You go to bless me. All the people with the tribe, talk about where I thought I was going to be. I praise you in my 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 praise you in my. Hi everybody, coming in, coming in, coming in. Hi everyone. Good evening, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I think it's Tuesday. Can you hear me now? Yeah, I have the music on, but it's colorless 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. Can you hear me now on Instagram? Hi, Facebook. Hi, YouTube. Okay, so can you guys let me know? Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, can you guys hear me loud and clear? Hello, Jean. Okay, perfect. Absolutely. Thank you. Can you hear me on? So, Jean, can you hear me on YouTube? Mr. Kramer, can you hear me on Facebook? Can you put it? Perfect. Thank you. Good evening, Miss Oyewole. I'm waiting on Jean. Debbie on YouTube. Let me know if you guys can hear me. If you can hear me on Facebook, I think you should be fine on YouTube as well. Good evening, everybody. Thank you very, very much. Awesome. Okay, so we're good to go. Hi, everyone. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. How you doing? So can you see my tattoo? I have 4 tattoos. Like literally, I just wake up and I say, what do I feel like getting today? And my kids are like, but you've told us not to get tattoos. Like, yeah, you do what I say, not what I do. Yeah, and I have another one here too. You see that? Well, anyway, I digress. This is Attorney 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕, immigration lawyer based in Alabama, representing immigration clients in all 50 states. I'm loving my glasses. They're much bigger, but you get to a certain point in your life, you ain't kidding nobody anymore. Just wear glasses that make you see. It's not just about fashion anymore. You've got to see. And I'm telling you guys, it got to a point in my, thank you, in my, I still have the other glasses, but the prescription became so weak. And my optometrist was like, it's not the prescription, your eyes are getting worse. And so when I put this, I was like, I can see. Everybody in the office was just like, because I was like, I cannot believe how clear everything is. So, I think it was because I was making fun of my mother growing up, but oh well, here we are. But anyway, this is Attorney 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒂𝒏𝒕, immigration lawyer. We are based in Alabama, but we represent immigration clients in all 50 states. If you don't know that by now you know. How was everybody's weekend? How was Valentine's Day for you guys yesterday? So I got a tray of chocolate. That's one of my favorite things ever. Chocolate dipped strawberries and cupcakes, and TJ already finished my cupcakes. But I don't know about other Nigerian women or African women generally. But the very first thing I taught Chris, and my boys will tell you, if you ask my kids, what is the one thing that you should never get your mother? And they would, without missing the beat, they'll tell you flowers. Do not waste your money. Do not waste your money. Do not waste your money. That woman is Nigerian. She doesn't care for flowers because for me, they're a complete waste of money. That's just me. That's just me. I don't get buying $100 worth of flowers that are going to die in 2 days or that I will kill in 2 days. Don't do that. Give me the money. So I told him, don't get me flowers. Don't do it. Don't waste your money. But anyway, let's talk immigration. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do so. If you have not followed us on TikTok, I shared a video that I posted on TikTok on Instagram today. Flowers are a complete waste of money. Utomi suck. Thank you. Yes. I know there's some women that, oh, I get me flowers. Listen, the very first time, I'm very, very brash. I'm just a typical Nigerian woman. I've lived here 2 decades, but there's some things you just cannot take out of me. I just don't know how to sugarcoat nothing. And the very first time Chris got me flowers, like, okay, I appreciate those flowers, but just so you don't waste your time the next time, don't ever get me flowers anymore. He said, yeah, the weirdest woman, like, see, it's a complete waste. First of all, I don't care for the smell of flowers. People will smell like, I don't get it. I don't have live plants around in my home. I just don't care for it. And when I was in boarding school, I went to 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. You had to cut grass. I was one of those kids that had to be exempt from cutting grass because I had an allergic reaction to it. And people initially thought I was just kidding until I landed in this dispensary, so in the school clinic. And so the smell of flowers or plants just doesn't do it for me. That's just me. And then you want to spend a whole lot of money. On YouTube, if you just type in 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕 immigration, that's the only it would come up in TikTok and YouTube. Facebook is 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒏𝒕 Law Firm. Instagram is 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕 immigration as well. So share this video, subscribe to YouTube channel, like and share our Facebook page. We're almost there. By the end of the month, I want to get 5,000 followers. Please help me get there, reach the goal. Follow us on Instagram. And so let's talk this evening. And if you need to contact our office on Facebook and YouTube, you can see that 334-341-4475. Send me an email. That's my personal email address, aos@𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕.com. You can also visit the website, 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒒𝒂𝒂𝒏𝒕.com, and send me, contact us from there. So let's talk immigration. This evening, I want to talk about one thing I get asked all the time, every single day. And if you're on Facebook and YouTube, you can see that biometrics and work permit. I cannot tell you. If someone can help me type it in, 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕 immigration, someone says to type it in, if someone can put it in the comment section. It just 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕 and migration and put it on social media. That's what will come up. So let's talk about biometrics and work permit. Biometrics and work permit. If your question is one that does not involve the consultation, I will only give you a general question. And I've sent, I think I've seen you answer questions before. I went out real quick there because my battery is low. But I will see if I have my charger somewhere. But can you hear me on Instagram? Can you guys hear me on Instagram? Will you let me know if you can hear me on Instagram? Hold on, let me see if I can get my charger and charge this phone. No sound. Let's see. Hold on 1 second. Can't hear me. Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me see if I can do this real quick. Give me 1 second, everybody. Allow. Okay. Let me know if I'm back on Instagram. Let me know if I'm back on Instagram. I think I should be back now. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Perfect. Okay. So technology. All right, here we go. Biometrics and work permit. If you have questions, put it in the comment section. Thank you. And I will do the best I can to answer those questions. I don't know if you guys can see, I have a split nerve in my eye. Don't even ask me how that. You're back. Okay, perfect. So people always ask me, how soon after my biometrics will I get my work permit? How soon? 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕, you still cannot hear me on Instagram? Okay. How soon after my biometrics will I get my work permit? That's the question I get. I'm not kidding you, on a daily basis. DMs, emails, calls to the office daily. So let's talk about that today, everyone. Hi, Mr. Femi. Biometrics when are needed when you file, for the most part, most of the applications. You file your VAL petition, you file your 765, file your 485, your asylum. They've got to get your fingerprint down. Oh, by the way, let me back up. So let me tell you about we're talking about work permit, the work permit and social security number that I got today. I always tell you guys, every single client's celebration or progress and win is a celebration. But this kid, and literally is a kid, under 10. Her dad was married to a strange wife, her stepmother. This woman filed for it's a converted I-130 to a VAD case. Filed for the father, but refused to file for this girl. And did not believe that this girl should go to school because she felt the father wants the child to feel superior to her own son. It don't make sense. Good English is it doesn't make sense. Southern English is it don't make sense. But did not file an I-130 for the kid. So there was no 485, no work permit. Kid has no identity in the country. No social security number, nothing. And this lady will make this kid sleep on bare tile floor. People are mean. Long story short, when they consulted with me last year, put in their VAL petition, and I told him, based on that, we're still able to file for your daughter's 485 and her work permit so she can get a social security number and feel like she belongs. When I tell you, you haven't seen a grown man in tears over a Zoom meeting, over work permit, and the fact that his daughter has a social security number. And he said to me, he says, I feel like my baby girl is finally human here in the country. I'm telling you, those are moments that they're just priceless, So, and I want to tell you her work, and that brings me to this point. This is a minor child. Children under the age of 14 are not scheduled for biometrics. That's your first clue right there. That biometrics has nothing to do with how soon you're going to get your work permit. People want you to believe that biometrics will determine how, as the sooner you have your fingerprinting appointment, then you will get your EAD very soon. That's absolutely not true. Your biometrics are needed for processing different applications. Like I said, 485, 765, 360, 589, and your notice will say, for instance, in the I-360, 765, I-360, 485. It will let you know what the application that you're being scheduled for the fingerprinting appointment is. But the fact that you have a fingerprinting appointment, you've done your biometrics, has nothing to do with how soon you're going to get your work permit. It does not. I don't care what anybody tells you. That's the law. Fingerprints are needed so it can be attached, and it's part of the background check they have to do. This case in point, and I bring this little girl's case up because applicants under the age of 14 are not scheduled for fingerprinting. And we filed the work permit. So the father already had a pending one. We just renewed his. This is the first time we filed for the child. We filed this and it was received in, hold on, let me see if I can. Okay, I have their case right here. It was received on October 14, 2021. That's when her 765 was received by USCIS. So we have November, December, January, February. Hers took 4 months to get her work permit and social security number. 4 months. Exactly, because October 14, right? Is that what I said? I think I said October 14. Yeah, exactly 4 months yesterday to get her work permit and social security number. She didn't have biometrics done. Now, that is a miracle right now because of the backlogs. And well as it was also based on the fact that her father had a pending 485. We filed hers and piggyback on his 360 as the basis for her 485 and 765. Her work permit and social security number were approved within 4 months and we received today. So that gives you a timeline and also lets you know that the fact that there was no biometrics done. Another example I want to give you, and these are typical examples in my firm. I have 2 clients who received their work permits last week. Both work permits do not have fingerprint on them. There is nothing wrong in you receiving a work permit EAD card that does not have your fingerprint on it. It doesn't make it invalid. It would just say print not available, because most likely one of them, I know his biometrics appointment came in very, very late. And he just recently did his biometrics and then we got his work permit. He believed that, okay, because he just didn't notice, that's why I got a work permit. No, because when we got the work permit and I told him, if you look at your card, it says fingerprint not available. It doesn't mean that it is invalid. It just means that the time they issued your card, they did not have your fingerprints back to put it on your card. That just makes you know that it's not about when you get your biometrics done. That doesn't determine, or that has no effect on how soon you're going to get your work permit. What determines how soon you're going to get your work permit is the processing time. When did you file your application? Where did you file your application? What classification did you file? And if you're able to figure that out, how long is it taking them to process your category of work permit? That is what determines when you're going to get your work permit. Very simple. So the fact that you had a biometrics done and 2 weeks later you got your work permit issued, you've got to go back and see, are they already working on cases I-765, whatever category that was filed during the time you filed yours? And if they are, then that's it. If they haven't reached your date, you're lucky. Just like one of my clients last week, who I said, he spoke into existence. They haven't gotten to, the month we filed his case, and he has his work permit. And I'm sure, because usually I get the social security number, a card within 7 days after I get a work permit for those who don't have one. And so I would expect that either tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, that I should, get his social security card. So please do not be fooled by thinking that once you have a biometrics done, okay, yes, I'm getting my work permit in 2 weeks. No. So when you call me and say it doesn't work that way, it truly doesn't work that way, right? So just look at the processing times, see how long it's taking them. If your case is still within number of processing, then that is the number of time, how long it's going to take them. Now, the one thing that it's factored into the length of time it takes to process your work permit is also when they send you a biometrics appointment. Example, it's taking them 6 months, for example. It's going to take 6 months for them to process your work permit. So that means, say for instance, 2 months in after filing, you get a biometrics notice, you go for your fingerprinting. So by the time you get your work permit, it will be 4 months after you've done your fingerprinting, albeit 6 months from the time you filed. But 4 months from fingerprinting. So it will be shorter from the time you did your fingerprinting because it's part of the process. However, it does not determine how long it will take after the biometrics notice doesn't determine how long it will take for you to get your work permit. Everything is factored in. It is just one stage out of the process of you getting your work permit. So I hope that, gives a little bit of insight to those who always wonder. So, I hear a lot of, fingerprinting, for the work permit. Okay, that's all I gotta say. So if you keep listening to that, they will make you sad. But run your own race. Everybody's destination is different. Everybody's destiny is different. Okay, so let's go to questions. Hello, Olushola. Hello, how are you? I have appealed for renewal of my work authorization for 9 months now. It's not surprising. It's taken forever for them to do anything. I'm telling you, this little girl, I'm telling you, this is God looking out for her. Her dad's renewal is still pending. That's one of the things I spoke with him. And it's like, he goes, you see how God works. Yeah, his renewal is still pending. And here we are. She's got a social security number and she's good to go. Good evening, Vicky here, Braden. I bet Gerald knows what it takes to be an immigrant. I do. Well, thank you. Can I use my advance parole if my deportation gets canceled? If you're already in deportation, then you don't have your advance parole is already invalid. So you must have your proceedings terminated, and then you will apply for advance parole. So you can't use one that you had before your removal proceedings and want to go back to that, because whatever 485 you filed with, then I'm assuming was already denied, unless you already filed that and you had that and it's still valid, and then you can see if you would, because this is what can happen. Don't be fooled. And I was telling someone today, the fact that you have something pending with USCIS is not, it does not prevent ICE or DHS or DHS from issuing a notice to appear in immigration court. A lot of people are mistaken that as long as I have something pending before USCIS, then I cannot be placed in removal proceedings. 95% of the time, you're not placed in removal proceedings, not because you have something, but because you have a pending case, and they have seen that it's a waste of resources for them. They allow you to see how that plays out, and if you were going to be able to get your immigration benefit before you affirmatively. However, the fact that you are before USCIS, you have a pending 485, you had advance parole, everything. An example would be if you get arrested for a crime, and you go to court and they ask you for your immigration status and you have none. They can, in Alabama, they do call ICE, and ICE can put a hold on you and actually issue a notice of appearance in immigration court, because even as a green card holder, you're not what's it called? What's the word I'm looking for? You can still be placed in deportation proceedings if you violate, if you get convicted of a crime that is a deportable offense. So even that is someone who has a green card, who holds a green card. So just so you know that, but if you have something pending before USCIS, that is, you're not immune. Thank you. You're not immune from being placed in removal proceedings. There's no immunity from that. No protection because you have something pending. No, it's just because the government understands that it's a complete waste of resources for them to keep going with a deportation defensive proceedings when you have an option and where there's a possibility that can be terminated. And usually that's what I do. If I have a case, which I currently, I'm still waiting. Hopefully, knock on wood, we get that. I contacted the chief counsel's office, and I said, hey, this makes absolutely no sense. Yes, she was arrested, whatever the case may be. This is really not a deportable offense, but because she had no status, they issued an NTA. Would you agree to grant prosecutorial discretion? Would you agree to join in a motion to terminate? I just don't see why they will not. So that, but just so you know, that is a possibility. Okay. All right. Let's go to Instagram. All righty. Let's see. Okay. How will a U visa derivative in U.S. Embassy in Lagos book appointment for? So I do not do U visas at all. So I would not even get into something that I do not. I don't touch at all. And for those who are, I used to, but that's a long story. U visa is for people who have been a victim of a crime, qualifying crime in the United States. That it can lead you to a green card. Can you share? So yeah, okay, I will share that later. Okay, let's see. Alrighty. Back. Okay. I want to know if one can apply for citizenship after 4 years in marriage while waiting for 10 years green card after receiving 12 months extension twice for the green card. So if you have been a citizen, so your time, you're waiting to get your 10-year green card. So I'm assuming that you have, well, not assuming, I know you have filed your 751 because you have gotten an extension. That's how you get an extension. You will be an applicant, generally will be eligible to apply for citizenship as long as you have met the requirements. If you're trying to apply based on marriage to a citizen, you must be able to show that you are in you have been a green card holder for at least 3 years. You are still married to that citizen, and that your spouse is still a citizen. So if you can satisfy all those requirements, then you should be able to file. Whether or not you're still waiting for your 10-year green card, your time and condition of residency counts towards the 3-year period, or if you're filing based on 5 years, it counts towards that, with the understanding that for the 3 years, those are the requirements you have to meet. For the 5 years, as long as you meet the 5 years, you can file 90 days before then. Okay. Do you take asylum cases? I need a lawyer for master's hearing and never had one. Yes, I do asylum cases, but asylum cases are cases where if I'm not the attorney who started the case, I will do is in 2 parts. I need to review your file. That is a completely separate retainer. And it starts by you having a consultation, talk about your case. I need to review your file, know exactly what was filed, submitted to USCIS. And then I will let you know if it's a case that I will take or not. I just don't take any case, especially when it's a case that I did not start. So that will be how here for Royals, that's what I do for especially asylum cases. Simply Paul, I filed asylum in 2020. I still haven't received my EAD. Please advise. First of all, you want to make sure that you had waited the time that you were supposed to wait before filing for your EAD, because there's something called the asylum clock. And if you can confirm that you have, and if you look on the processing time and it's outside the normal processing time, which I think it's 6 months or 7 months, the last I checked, which was yesterday in the asylum CA category, then you need to contact them that your case is outside normal processing time. Okay. How long does it take? And this is Chinde. How long does it take to hear from USCIS after submitting VAR application? VAR can take anywhere from 18 months to 3 years. Yeah, Jude. Y'all just come up with crazy, interesting usernames. If I do have a green card and I'm 26 and I didn't register for selected services, that well, okay, let me rephrase your question. If I have a green card and I'm 26 and I did not register for selected service, is that going to affect my info in the case? You have to be able to explain if you were exempt, why you did not register, and so that may have a bearing on it. But without knowing your specific case, that's just general information. Okay. Simply, Paul, I just answered your question. Do you take care of national interest waiver, 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕? Yes, I do. Okay. Alrighty. Would you advise a female to put in ad on a file to asylum husband that is still pending? I can't give you any legal advice. I only do that for clients, so this is just general information. If you need to, but if an applicant needs to amend their application so they can add a derivative applicant, then you are able to do so. So whether or not it's advisable for you to do that will completely depend on your specific circumstances. Okay. Is it advisable for a wife who is on a student visa currently studying to be included in her husband's asylum filing? Is it advisable for a wife who is on a student visa currently studying to be included in her husband's asylum filing? The husband hasn't spent up to a year in the USA, though. Once again, I cannot give you advice. I cannot give you advice, like I said, but if you are in a valid non-immigrant status, if you're included as a derivative applicant in your spouse's application, if you're found to not have established your credible fear burden, as long as you retain your non-immigrant status, then you will not be referred to immigration court. That is you as the person who is on a valid non-immigrant status at the time the asylum officer makes the decision. Okay. I understand him taking, but in case whatever application is submitted, is there a receipt that will be sent to someone that an application is received, like a notice? Yes. This is where it's probably advisable for you to get a lawyer. So if you have not received a receipt and notice, depending on how long you filed it, but immigration is not just about filing forms. Just saying. Okay, so then you should be fine. All right, let me see, and then we'll wrap this up real quick. YouTube and oh wow, okay. Let me see how many I can answer. C31 category is an EAD. It's an EAD that is issued to VAR petitioners upon the approval of your VAR petition. Okay, so I did a video on this. Mark Jones says, "Good evening, ma'am. I have my prima facie determination. How long will it take for me to get a work permit? Prima facie determination has no bearing on when you get a work permit." Liz says, "Good evening. I want to know if the renewal for a work permit it take as long as if I apply for the first time. Thanks in advance." Yeah, check the processing time. What I'm seeing in my firm is it's taking about the same time. Mr. Kwame, what did you say about victims of a crime? U visa. U visa and T visa is trafficking visa. U visa is a visa you can apply for if you have been the victim of a qualifying crime, and you're cooperating, and you have cooperated with the law enforcement, and law enforcement that has jurisdiction over that crime will issue a certification that has to be done as part of your case. I don't do that anymore, but that's just U visa in a nutshell. And Nip Alexander, how long does it take once your VA is approved? How long does what take? Martin, I just got my work permit through I-45. The reason why I'm in deportation is that I went to New Mexico. My green card wasn't approved, so I came back to you, got caught at immigration checkpoint. Okay. So it wasn't, and so you tried to re-enter, you try to enter without inspection, right? So if you're in deportation proceedings, you cannot travel out unless you want to do voluntary departure. Okay. Junwon Akiri Sola, if you have been placed in removal proceedings and have been issued a notice to appear in immigration court, what are the steps to take? That is somewhat where you set up a consultation to discuss your case. Okay. Becky Bassey, can one use advanced parole to travel with the pending? Yes, generally yes. As long as you do not have any issues to worry about as far as being found inadmissible, you are able to use your advanced parole while your 45 vacancy is pending, with the understanding that it is not guaranteed, it's not mandatory that they admit you into the United States. CBP has a sole discretion to decide whether or not when you get to the port of entry to admit you back into the country. That's why USCIS, when they approve the advanced parole and give it to you, that it's valid for reentry, but it also states in your approval notice that it is not a guarantee. There's somewhere where it says discretion whether or not you're going to be found admissible. And that's because USCIS, they're all DHS, right? But USCIS is a separate department. CBP is responsible for admission at the port of entry. So USCIS cannot tell them what to do. All USCIS is doing with an advanced parole is saying this person's case is pending, and we're acknowledging that the case is pending, and this is proof that the case is pending, and this is their permit to come back in as long as you guys clear them at the port of entry. That's advanced parole in a nutshell. But knock on wood, I haven't had any clients have any issues coming back in. So, okay. All righty. All right, everybody. Let's see. Okay. Thank you, Unlimited Favor Aid. Good evening, ma'am. How can a derivative in Nigeria apply for? I already said that I don't do U visa, so I'm not going to give information about something that I no longer do. I am in my last year of OPT and I want to put in national interest waiver. How long does it take? I don't want to be out of status before getting a response. How long do you have left on your OPT? What I'm seeing, national interest waiver, you cannot do premium processing, so you have to wait it out. The maximum I'm seeing based on my petitions that we filed, the longest that I'm seeing in my firm is 7 months. So let's see, July and then January. 6-7 months, thereabout. Yeah. Okay, everybody. Okay, everybody. So that is biometrics and work permit. Biometrics doesn't determine how long it's going to take. It is just part of the process. If you get lucky, that's shortly after biometrics, you get your work permit. That's good. But you can also get a work permit that doesn't even have your fingerprint on it, and that it doesn't make it invalid. The more you know. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining in. If we can help you with your immigration case, contact our office. So I've done a video sent restored. I've done a video. So I've done a video on filing citizenship and how that helps to push along your 751, because it's taking them a shorter time to process citizenship, and they cannot grant you a 10-year green card, or they cannot grant you a citizenship application and you take the naturalized oath of allegiance and be sworn in without them granting you your 751 first, meaning they have now taken away the conditions of your residency and you can proceed. So when you file for citizenship, it makes them have to deal with your 751 case because your naturalization is contingent on them adjudicating that petition. And Teju, I know you already texted me earlier in DM, and I'm going to you the same thing. You would need to set up a proper consultation to discuss your case. Do not give advice. This is just general information. All right, everybody. Hello, Alice. How are you? Thank you to everybody who jumped on. Once again, if you need to contact our office, number is 334-341-4475. Email is olalealawfirm.com.